When I was reading through Betty's journals, I came across a section, I think it was 73 or 74,
Mm.
where Betty and Sheila were meeting with all these people. They were going to produce an adult film for women. And I wish it would have been made. So she has some storylines in there and some producers she was meeting with. And I think about that time because that's when, Bob Guccione and Penthouse, they were doing the Caligula movie. And that's when they did the Marlon Brando movie. I forget
Hmm.
the title of it, but Betty illustrated it. And they were really merging film with high quality sex art, I would
Hmm.
say. And it really was a golden age.
Porn was going mainstream. I was a teenager and a young woman during this time, and I feel so lucky because porn was accepted. Like, movies like Deep Throat and Behind the Green Door, that was talked about like on Johnny Carson. It was the cool thing to do. My grandparents went to go see Deep Throat. Like,
Everyone went to see Deep Throat. Everyone.
everyone did, and it made erotic film and pornography so much more acceptable. Now it's different today because sometime like in the mid 80s, like I remember seeing like my first full-length erotic film was Behind the Green Door with Marilyn Chambers. I saw it on video. I loved it. Very like pleasure focused. It included like everything, and it
I was
was
going to say
just
it's inclusive.
right.
Adult entertainment in that era. I have a stack of Evergreen magazines behind me from the 70s. And when I opened them to get an article about Betty, I was amazed at how much diversity,
Yes,
all
yes.
different body sizes, all
Mhm.
colors and sex acts and orientation. It was all there.
And it was focused on pleasure, and there were women, like, that's what stood out for me. Marilyn Chambers is the main character. I mean, I just wanted to feel that. I wanted to, like, like, be taken behind the green door and, laid out and have, like, all of these tongues and fingers touching me. Like, yeah, sign me up. Where do I go? So, and I still use images from that film in my fantasies. That's part of my fantasy spank bank. So the movies then were different. And then at the end of the golden age, and Carlin, I think you said it was VHS.
It was a combination of the 80s and VHS. So now you didn't have to use film, which was very expensive. It was
Mhm.
cheaper. So a lot more people moved in the market. And that's when they passed all of the law, the 2257, that regulated sexual imagery. And what that did is made it a lot more expensive to produce.
Mm.
So that's when they stopped paying the performers. As a performer, you used to make just as much as an actress. You
Mhm.
could be a millionaire and be an adult performer. So all of a sudden, rates came down. The barrier to entry came down. So you had a lot of people with a handheld camcorder making things. So there was less regulation in a way of the
Mhm.
quality, and
Mhm.
the performers weren't as compensated or even protected. And
Yeah.
so that's when you see this kind of monolithic, male dominant, female submissive porn come in. And that's when I think most of us, it's like you see stuff and it's like, ugh, you know,
Right.
I can't tell you why, but I find it repulsive, in
It
the moment.
it shifted to like male domination of women and away from female pleasure. So, when I watch more modern porn, that's a bit considered more mainstream these days, it doesn't look pleasurable to me. I don't want to be like pounded from behind or, like, heavy or, gagged with a penis. I mean, that just doesn't look like fun. But I tend to gravitate more toward lesbian porn because I can imagine what it feels like. That to me, there seems to be more pleasure. So typically, like I find for myself, I go back to the golden age of porn and watch older videos. Candida Royale was one of the very first women director
And her stuff is
producers.
very soft.
Yes.
No, you're not
Yes.
going to get any ejaculation shot. You know,
Mhm.
things that some women find triggering aren't going to be in that kind of a film. But Erica Lust, for me, right now, as
Mhm.
a young woman in the game, she's married. Her husband, they live in Barcelona. She's Swedish. She has two little girls, and they produce female centered. I mean,
Yes.
really, it's sex art films. I'm not even going to call it pornography or adult entertainment. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Mhm. It is, and I truly enjoy, Erica Lust's films, and she has amassed quite a catalog, with a great deal of variety. Her site is a subscription site, but hey, you pay money for HBO, um, and streaming, Netflix, why
You
not?
have to pay for good stuff.
Right, and what I like about her site is you can download it. So even if you can save your favorites, if there is something, that you like. But I really appreciate that Erica Lust is there moving forward with developing erotic films that are specific for women and men too. I mean, they're entertaining for men. It's just it includes more pleasure. And it's not that those images that can just like if you go to Pornhub, it can be
Don't
like
go to Pornhub.
frightening. And it doesn't look pleasurable to me.
And her stuff is shot in high def. Everything is beautifully lit and gorgeous locations. Talent, it's all European and it's diverse.
Yes.
You know, and it's like there's interracial, there's lesbian, there's hetero, there's a lot. You can watch it with your partner. Um, and it's for me, it's the antithesis of pornography. It's really what it should be. It's elevated, it's sex art. And when you watch that, it can give you ideas. And they
Mhm.
have proven in research that people who will watch adult entertainment are more open to body diversity and are more appreciative and take more time when they have sex. So there is something that when we watch, you know, monkey see, monkey do.
Right. I recently watched as research for our course, one of the videos on the Erica Lust site called Dirty Laundry. And it took place in a laundromat. And it was beautifully lit. And it just made me think about the sensuality of being in a laundromat, the smell of the clothes dryer. There's like not really much else to do. um, you're meeting other people, strangers. It was like the perfect backdrop, and it did inspire me. And so now I have like another little story, some image in my mind, images and a story in my mind that I can replay as fantasy. I never thought of a laundromat before as being sexy, but now I do.
Oh, when I was in the laundromat in my 20s going through law school, I always thought about having sex with everyone that was like reading the book next to me. It was
Yes.
like, huh, what if we fucked really quick right now behind the washer? What would that be like? Always. You
Right.
know, when we were doing the Goop interview with
Hmm.
Gwyneth Paltrow and Elise, we started talking about having sons
Hmm.
and wanting our sons because they're naturally going to go to the internet
Hmm.
and look for imagery and look for adult entertainment and wanting them to find whole images, right? You don't want
Hmm.
your kid to eat junk food, you want them to eat the
Yeah.
organic and the same thing. And so as we were having the discussion, we came to the conclusion that you have to buy your kid the good porn. And I brought up Erica Lust and they went, "Oh, I love Erica Lust." And it was a really beautiful moment. They didn't include it in the episode, but I wish that they had
Hmm.
because I think of that all the time. I want Grayson to see realistic images of
Yes.
sexuality and sex acts and situations that bring women pleasure too.
Yes, yes. Because it's a misconception that, the idea is, well, women don't enjoy porn because men are more visual, and that is not true. Research has shown that women
Mhm.
get aroused just as much as men do from watching erotic films and pornographic images. We just repress it. So, yes, I think it's worth exploring and finding what fits for you. You're not going to like every video that comes across, no, but you have to experiment and dig in and see what you do like.